All right, the Mets are sitting pretty right now with a 10.5 game lead in the National League East, currently on a 6-game winning streak, taking 8 out of their last 10 as well. This has all led to the game that's going to be taking place in Dodger Stadium. But before we get into that, for first pitch, we have some things to discuss. Welcome to the Mets Weekly Roundtable. Let's go.
This is Frank Cugino from Frank About Sports.
What's going on, guys? Andrew Acevedo back.
What's going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden is the name.
What is going on, everybody? This is Metsfan from YouTube.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm TonyMetro.
Big Apple Banter Media here with Elias. That's weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Welcome to Mets Weekly. All right, we should have another member joining us later on, but for now, we have a short staff for now. I'll start with Andrew. You can introduce your stuff. We know the drill by now.
Yeah, uploaded a reaction to the new Top 100 MLB Pipeline. Did pretty well, having a little fun with that. Probably expecting more stuff like that before, obviously, getting into trade deadline season. That's when, again, like I've said, I'm the most useful. It's rumors and trades and stuff like that. And yeah, so we got a few good topics. You know, a certain plum dog has been balling, so we'll have some fun.
All right. Frank About Sports.
Yeah, it's been a little tough because I love to make videos complaining and wanting to fire people and get rid of people and call people out. But when you win 6 in a row and you have the best record in the National League, it makes it a little tough to do that. So, but listen, I'm more than welcome to have the change of the Mets winning game. So that's really exciting. But, you know, we've been doing the game recaps, things like that. But like Andrew said, as more news gets into the cycle, that means there'll be more videos to be made. So let's get into it.
All right. Well, you guys know the drill by now. Make sure to subscribe to the Mets Weekly channel to never miss our live roundtable show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Follow us on Twitter. Join our Discord. Follow everyone individually. The links are all in the description down below. Yeah. And most importantly, we want to hear from you guys, so make sure to leave a question if you have one for the roundtable. We'll make sure to star it, and we'll answer it throughout the show. Now, so let's just get into just the main takeaways, obviously. Perfect way to open the show. Mets currently sit with the best record in the National League, as we've said, at 35-17 with a 10.5 game lead in the NL East. So let's get to the main takeaways. I'll start with Frank. Main takeaways from the Mets' recent play.
I think one of the main takeaways is just the continued comeback kids. I mean, we've just seen it so many times this year, and it continuously happens. I mean, even the comeback against the Nationals where you go down 3-0 in the first inning, and you're like, oh, my gosh, here we go. Is David Pearson not going to look like a major league starter, more like a major league reliever? And you get a little concerned. But then the very next half inning, the Mets get right back in it, and then they take a huge lead in the second inning, and they just coast from there on. And then they hadn't given up a run since. So that was something that I really liked, that the pitching held up, you know, whether it was Peterson, it was Trevor Williams, because I mean, they've done really well so far, even with Scherzer being down. And that definitely was a big blow because we already knew we didn't have DeGrom. You knew you didn't have McGill. So there was a little bit of concern, like, will they still be able to hold up? And they have so far. My one, if I could just have one criticism, it would be as far as using the bullpen, there's something that really stood out to me was Adonis Medina. He came in the 9th inning. He had that comebacker come off him. And Buck Showalter mentioned that J.D. Davis kind of gave him a look, that J.D. Davis wants to pitch, because we were told that J.D. Davis did do some pitching in his career prior to coming to the Mets. And I just think that there are certain instances, like when you're up 10-0, when you're up 13-5, where I would much rather have J.D. Davis pitch than have Drew Smith go 2 innings, or have Joely Rodriguez pitch an inning, or guys that you feel like you're going to need for a more important scenario where you're not going to have them available because you just used them a day ago, or they could get hurt themselves or just lose their effectiveness. So that's something that I would like to see the Mets try to incorporate a little more, especially just with how the schedule has been. the occasional blow-up outings where a guy is gone in the second inning, so you need to tax out your bullpen, or just the very few off days and double headers, things like that. So I feel like, and Buckshall just said it was kind of a goal to not have a position player pitch, which I get it. It's like a sense of pride for some teams. I understand that, but I think when you're up by so much and you have a guy like a JD Davis that has that asset, I mean, doesn't make JD Davis a little more useful on this roster, honestly. I feel like they should do that. I just think that keeping these bullpen arms as healthy and fresh as possible is really what's going to help this team in the long run, especially with the injuries they've had. So that would be my one criticism. But when you win 6 in a row, you make the big comebacks, you score 13 runs, you score 10 runs, back-to-back shutouts. I mean, it's tough to find too much to complain about.
All right. Andrew, main takeaways.
Yeah, like what Frank said, but this team is the next man up. You know, look at this homestand. You've got the Plum Dog hitting 2 big fat nukes. Tomas Nido has a 4-hit day. You know, Starling Marte has been the consistent guy this homestand. Lindor has been as an RBI in 8 or 9 straight games. You know, Pete's hitting his, or 10 now. Pete Alonso's hitting his Lucas Duda homers when the game's blown out. So he's, you know, he hits his occasional Lucas Duda homer. But again, Eduardo Escobar was a hero on this homestand. So you're getting it from different people. You're not just getting, oh, you're being carried by Lindor and Alonso, and you've got a bunch of scrubs. Mark Canha has had a big, you know, everybody, it seems every day it's a different person. You're not getting, oh, it's just, okay, it's Pete and Lindor and a bunch of bums. Like, this is a team. And like this team that's how they win games. They're not like the NBA where it's just one guy and a bunch of jobbers. Like this is a overall team effort every night. Nemo's the hero one night, then it's Lindor, then it's Marte, then it's damn Tomas Nido getting his monthly hits in one day. You know, this is a team experience and different like the Dodgers where it's just like Trey's carrying them with Mookie and Freddie. Where the rest of the lineup isn't doing anything. We're looking at the Mets lineup 1 through 8.5, occasionally with Nido being half in, you know, Mazika with the occasional big hits. 1 through 8, you can produce runs, and those guys are consistently producing. And now the Mets have made the, you know, obviously big thing, which we'll get to in a second with Dom, that like if you don't perform, you're not going to be here. And especially now with Cano, now Dom. So it's making this team of like, hey, it's a 26-man roster, and it's 26 useful players. And everybody does their part when need be. When they're given the opportunity, they succeed. And that's what I like. Hey, Plum Dog, you know, potentially Vientos down the line. Maybe Daniel Paul. Who knows with this team? It has the magic of, hey, anybody in any situation can come through with that big hit. And it's a team effort every night.
All right. Well, I mean, I have 2 main takeaways, and these just like go from the hitting. That my first one is that Starling Marte has not been a launch angle terrorist, and it's really paying off. His ground ball rate is down to a career low, and his sweet spot rate is up to a career high. He has slashed 337, 355, 558 with a 160 WRC plus in the month of May. I mean, that's incredible production from the 2 spot every night. So, I mean, keep it up. I love it. Even though it's hard seeing anybody but Conforto in right field. But second takeaway is that Francisco Lindor and Pete have been, they have been insane.
Good RBIs.
Both of them are
a lot of RBIs.
Both of them are in top 5 in runs batted in, but Frank likes RBIs, so fuck that. That means nothing. But let's talk about runs produced. The Mets have scored 271 runs so far this season. That is second in the MLB in total runs scored, behind tonight's opponent in LA. Alonso and Lindor are responsible for 136 of those 271 runs scored by the Mets this season. Now, that means that 50.2% of the Mets offense has been produced by our 3 and 4 hitters in that lineup. Here are some more numbers. With runners in scoring position, Lindor and Alonso combined have a net rating of +4. That just basically means that their combined risk success and risk fails are +4. That combines basically for a runners in scoring position success rate, or RSR, shall we say, of 0.502, 50.2%. Shout out to my guy Nick Clams on Twitter, who tracks the Mets data on RISP. But that is pretty cool. I mean, the two of them at the 3 and 4 spot have been fantastic, and they have been contributing to this offense the way that they needed to be. I said multiple times that Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor have to be the main catalysts of this offense, with how table sitting heavy that this lineup can be. And they've been doing that, exactly that. They've been driving in runs, or they've been contributing no matter what. And that's what I like. They've basically just sustained great offense from that 3 and 4 spot. And that's all I can really ask for from them. I don't need them to be the MVP. I don't need them to be the best player in the world. I need them to be the top contributors in this lineup, and not the top contributors in all of baseball. This is a team game, shall we say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say they had a poll that Pete Alonso, right now, he'd be top 5 in MVP. And I think if they expand it into 10, I think Lindor has to sneak his way in there. So, I mean, they don't have to be the MVP necessarily. But if you do have – and I think there's a case to be made right now where you could say that there are 3 teams in the National League that could have 2 top 10 MVP guys. The Mets would have Alonso and Lindor. The Dodgers would have – I mean, Dodgers might have 3, honestly. You could definitely put Mookie and Trade to that category, maybe Freddie. And then the Cardinals have Nolan and Paul Goldschmidt. Yeah. So, I mean, there definitely is a bit of a – like you said, I don't love that necessarily that they're being carried so much by the team. Like, you want Alonso and Lindor to do well, but you always just worry, like, what if one goes to a slump? What if one gets injured? You know, like, you do want to see these other guys driving in those runs. Jeff has been pretty good as well with runners in scoring position. I really hope that they know Lindor, Alonso bat 3-4. I hope they could be like, you know what? Jeff McNeil is our number 5 hitter. I really would like that to be very consistent because, like you said, since the lineup is so table setting heavy, they have fluctuated, especially with the leadoff spot. They fluctuate a lot this week with Nimmo being down. You saw Nimmo lead off. You saw Guillorme lead off. I believe we even saw Canna lead off. We know Marte could lead off if needed. So 1 and 2, that's kind of – it could fluctuate so much. They have so many guys that can do it. But if you have that stable 3-4-5 of Lindor, Alonso, McNeil, and then whoever's not at the line, then you could put Canna, you could put your Guillorme, Escobar, whoever you want. And then you just have a very stable lineup. And we've definitely seen – a much more consistent offense this past week because we definitely saw our fair share of, 2 runs, 3 runs. But this week we saw, 8 and 10 and 13, so we're just seeing a lot more runs being scored. And what you love is still it's not by the long ball. You'll get your home run here or there. You'll get Plummer to hit one, maybe Alonso hit one, Lindor hit one. But this is a team that really could just go single, which is a really tough thing to do nowadays. And a lot of these guys use the opposite field. They lead the league in infield hits because it's a team that has some speed, but most importantly, has a lot of hustle. I mean, this is a team full of guys that really hustle every time, which I love to see.
You want to pull the update up?
We're already
back.
Welcome to June, folks. Let's go.
Welcome to fucking
No. Just no.
This is why we have. Oh, I'm not gonna make that joke.
All right. Well, for the people watching that are not on Twitter, Francisco Lindor accidentally slammed his finger into a hotel door, so that means that he won't be in the Mets lineup tonight. So, welcome to June, folks. Welcome to June. Oh my God, you got to be kidding me, man.
Did that literally happen as I said? Hopefully, one of these
literally
guys don't
as
get hurt?
you were saying. Yeah, you literally said.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Hey,
here we go.
It's only
unbelievable.
We got
that's
Taiwan
hilarious.
tonight. We didn't need him anyway. Not Taiwan gonna throw a perfect game. We're good. You only need 1 run.
Dude, what the fuck?
Slammed the door on his finger. This is he's
oh God.
What is it with Puerto Ricans in hotel rooms? Lugo last year, now you got Lindor now. Are we allowed these guys some Airbnbs?
Keep Tomas Nido and Edwin Diaz out of hotels.
Dude, are you serious right now?
How's
All
that?
right, well,
How did he even do that?
How do you slam the door on your finger that hard? Literally, like, oh shit, ow! You shake it off and you go get a. I don't know.
you gotta be kidding me, man.
It's
Oh,
one game.
man.
If it's one game, it's one.
All right,
game.
well,
Still.
Yeah,
the
if.
season's over, folks. We'll see you
Season's
guys
over.
next
June is
week.
hit. Lowell Mets is back.
Um,
We're dead. We're in
it's
second
over.
place right now. So it's over.
Okay.
Oh boy. All right. Let's
Well, here's the thing I'm thinking off the top of my head is obviously Lindor's going to be out. So Guillorme is going to be playing short. Would you consider putting Guillorme and Nimmo at the top and then bang Marte third or something like that? Or maybe
You
Jeff
probably have
slides up
to.
to 3? I don't know.
I've always said the jump. I want I'd be all right with hitting damn Canna 4 and Alonso 5 with all those guys in front of them. So you could do Marte third. You can move McNeil back in the 3 spot.
Good old
Put
Mets.
McNeil in the
That
3
could
spot.
never.
Yeah, but then like I said, you got back kind of fifth though to protect Alonso.
And
So
then Plum Dog or Escobar, Plum Dog, and then I don't know.
All right, well, Plummer's
So,
probably
be
going
sure
to
to-
play.
well,
Yeah,
Guillorme's
Plum's gotta
definitely
play.
playing. Guillorme's definitely.
So here's your public service announcement. If you're gonna close the door, look at your fucking ass. So, all right. Enough of the stupidity. Let's this. It's
I
one
don't
day.
get
It's
it.
up-
Like I'm just thinking, like you open a hotel door, why is your hand like? What?
Showalter says that
Yeah.
Lindor will probably need a
Oh, there's
day,
plenty.
but
There,
he could
there's
possibly
plenty of
DH
ideas
tonight.
in my head how that happened.
Oh,
but
no.
We're not gonna. This is a PG show or
Yeah, you
PG-13 show. So
you got to be
we'll
on
move
the
It's
Patreon
one
for
game.
that.
Go to the OnlyFans and we'll give you that story. As long as he doesn't break his hand, it's one game. It's okay. Let's move on. We're better than the Dodgers anyway.
Oh my God, the New York Mets.
Buck
folks.
said he could possibly DH tonight.
Yeah, I just said that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, all right. At least it's
Whatever.
not like bad yet. I mean, the Mets have had the crazy, like Andrew said, you said like Lugo with the freaking the foot. We've had guys fall down walking. I mean, we've just had it all.
We had David
Don't
Peterson.
even get me started. Duaner Sanchez cab. I mean, let's not even go there. Like, oh, pain,
Pain, folks, pain. What's it called? I mean, we had David Peterson hurt himself walking
Yeah, exactly.
last year.
So,
Um,
if he's still there's still a chance he plays. So we lose. the elite defense with
anyways,
that.
speaking
Move
of
on.
failures,
Oh yeah.
Dominic Smith was optioned to AAA Syracuse 2 days ago. Dom has looked awful recently. When you combine his 2021 and 2022, he's slashing 235, 301, 346 with an 83 WRC plus. Most of that is good from last year, which wasn't even that good, and that was in 594 plate appearances. Now, if you don't remember, Dominic Smith was a first-round pick by the Mets back in 2013. And since I do love torturing myself, here are some other first-round picks that were selected over him. Hunter Renfroe, Tim Andersucks, Aaron Judge,
Oh, okay.
and Sean Manaea. So that's not good.
And Judge.
All right, so
the
the main question here is, we've talked about the future of tons of players with this team. This might cover Frank's face. I don't even know, but no, it's good. All right.
My big head
Has
prevailed.
Dominic Smith played his last game as a New York Met? I'll start with Andrew.
No, because Pete Alonso is gonna go to California and then go jet skiing, and he's gonna go. His hand's gonna get cut off by a blade. So with the Mets, you never count anybody out. But obviously, be real to have some actual sense. Probably, I'd say yeah. He's complained about playing time. He's been like, I want to play every day. Well, now you're gonna play every day. You're gonna play every day for the Mets. Just not in the city. You're going up to Syracuse and you can play every day and be the first baseman and just pat third, every day if you want when you're actually in the lineup, because even Syracuse benched you today. Just kind of funny. But again, he's complained that he wants out. he kind of needs a fresh start. So the Mets desperately at the deadline could see if they can get a reliever for him. I don't think you're going to get a starter for him. Maybe you flip him for a reliever, maybe a project reliever just to get him off the team. But I just don't think he's getting to the point where he just keeps like, hey, get me out of here. Hey, get me out of here. Hey, get me out of here. That you got to eventually give him the all clear. And especially with the Mets having Polka and they have some first base depth on the roster now. Mark Vientos can play first. Maybe you move Beatty to first. You have some options for guys to play first. So, yes, he plays great defensively, but if you swing an absolute pool noodle, you bring no value, and you really can't play any position. Oh, you can put him in left. No, you do that if you're the 2019 Mets and you've got no other options. We're in the 2022 team, which we have all-stars all over the place, and we need guys who could just play their actual position. So, I'd say by mid-June, by a couple weeks, I probably wouldn't be surprised if he's on a different team.
All right. Frank, has he played his last game as a Met?
I think he has. He's a guy that, like you said, Carson, he's really frustrating because he was a first-round pick. So we had pretty high hopes for him. And he debuted with the Mets, was it 2016, 2017? He wasn't good. And we were like, oh, my gosh, he's a bust, whatever. But then he got a lot of things correct. Sleep apnea, the weight problem, some different changes. And all of a sudden, we saw a productive player. 2019, he was good, but then he had the injury. And then he came back for that one at-bat against the Atlanta Braves, hits that big walk-off. Well, it wasn't a big walk-off for him because they sucked at the end of the year. But he hits that walk-off for me, like, okay, at least he's still kind of healthy. Follows up with a really good 2020. You're like, okay, maybe he's finally putting it all together, back-to-back good outings. And then last year he struggles, particularly in that second half. He hasn't hit a home run since July of 2021. But then we hear, wait a minute, he had shoulder surgery. He couldn't swing the bat the same way. We're like, oh, okay. That makes sense why he struggled with the power. He should be much better this year. He had 2 home runs off Max Scherzer in a practice game. And then after that, he hasn't hit a home run since. And what's crazy to me is that he had the surgery, yet he's worse this year than he was last year. Like, that just doesn't even make sense. So, and he's not just kind of bad. It's like, it's just so crazy because when we talked about Cano, we said Cano is giving you these at-bats where he's just up there 3 to 4 pitches, not doing anything productive, not hitting it hard, not hitting it far, not showing you encouraging signs. And Dom has that big game on Sunday Night Baseball. We're like, oh, well, Dom's better than Cano, so just have Dom take over. And then Dom literally became Robinson Cano and is up there only a few pitches doing absolutely nothing. So then down you go as well. And it's like Andrew said, even if something were to happen, he's not the first guy I'm calling up. Like, we've seen Dom Smith. We know what he is. This team doesn't need another hitter like Dom Smith. They need if they're going to call somebody up, they need someone with some power. I'll take my chances with Polka, and I'll take my chances with Vientos. Guys actually have some power before I'm looking in the avenue of Dom Smith now. And again, it's so very maddening that you had Eric Hosmer, Chris Paddock, Emilio Pagan on the table for Dom Smith. Are any of those guys great? No. But would they provide a lot more value than Dom Smith has so far? They definitely would, especially considering that 2 of those guys became Taylor Rogers. And having Taylor Rogers right now would make this team even better than it already is. Just give you another good high-leverage reliever. But what is really tough now is that, yes, Dom Smith wants to go. I understand why. He wants to be a starting player. But when the Mets gave him the opportunity, he didn't show that he deserves to be a starting player. Yeah, I mean, they gave him plenty of ABs. I mean, what team would want him? So that's the part now. It's like, I hope he actually does end up playing in Syracuse. I hope he plays well to build up his trade value, because right now, you're not getting Emilio Pagan, Chris Paddock, and Eric Hosmer for him again. You're not getting a package close to that again with how bad he's been, because at least, when that trade was on the table, no one really knew exactly where he was at. His trade value is much higher because he didn't stink up the joint yet. So, I mean, that's something that I really hope they can just build his confidence up, build his value up. He should play every day. He hasn't played yet. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Maybe he doesn't want to play because he's just so frustrated with the whole situation. And it stinks because he's a good guy. We all root for him. He's a really good guy. I know the team loves him, but like Andrew said in the open, it's gotten to the point now when you spend this much money, when you've made all the sacrifices this team has made, the clubhouse chemistry means nothing now. If you play well, you stay. If you don't, you're gone. And that's just how it has to be. I mean, That's how this team has the best record in the National League, by being tough, not babying guys, not trying to, make everybody happy. They're just doing what it takes to win. And that's just part of the business. If you don't play well, that's the consequence.
Yeah, I personally believe that he has played his last game as a Met, mainly because his future has always been questioned for like the past 3 years. You look at it overall. I mean, Dom has had so many chances to show his value to this team. I mean, in 2019, Alonso pretty much took the job from him by an insane margin. 2020, Cespedes dipped, and that allowed him to be the DH, put in the DH spot. I mean, 2021, they upgraded the outfield with just depth, so this guy could start in left field. And then this year, the universal DH comes back. Cano gets DFA'd. JD Davis is barely used. We see him like once every 6 days. And he's given a chance to get the DH spot. Out of all of that, we still have not had a fully healthy, great season from this guy. And as we've said a few minutes ago, he was a first-round pick almost 9 years ago to this date. It comes to a point where you're like, he's pretty much played himself out of a spot on this roster. And like, this was the right decision, and it shows that, like we've all said, that the front office is not really playing around. You don't perform, you're gone. Like, it's no like sugarcoating around it. There's no chemistry. We love you. It's okay. We'll coddle you. No, that's not it. It's over. Anything else on Dom Smith, and then we'll move on. But other than that, it stinks. He's a good guy, and I wish him the best. But like, there comes to a point where, hey, enough is enough. All right. Well, Luis Guillorme cannot be stopped. Ever since shaving the beard on April of the 19th, he has been slashing 419, 506, 527 with a 202 WRC plus in 89 plate appearances. And to troll the sheep on the screen, outplaying Eduardo Escobar and outplaying Josh Donaldson. Suck it.
And outplaying every third baseman not named Jose Ramirez, Manny Machado, and Nolan Arenado. So just want to throw that out there as well.
Manny Machado is a future Met, so I'm not gonna bash him. So the main question here is, we've seen Guillorme play a lot recently because he's red hot. All right. Is he a starting caliber player? Excuse me. Whoops. Wrong one.
It's harder than it looks.
This one? Nope.
Oh, that's not it.
That's not it either. All right. We'll just imagine it.
Wow, the guy you simp over, and you don't even have your banner for him. What kind of simpage is this?
Fuck off. All right. Is he a starting caliber player on this roster? Andrew, what's your excuse now? Go ahead.
Is he a starting caliber player? Right now he is. He's hitting, but I have never seen this. I had an epiphany again. These shows, I just get epiphanies.
Shut up.
This reminds me so much of a guy in 2013 who had a god tier stretch, and we thought, holy shit, we fleeced them. This reminds me, except without the power, this just screams John Buck in April. Unbelievable month of May. This dude's
not even trying now.
Legit, half of his hits are ground balls, and we know ground balls are bad. So extra get some
30% line drive rate. Go fuck yourself.
Look, watch the games, nerd. They're all little sloppers to the left side of the
30% ground ball. 30% line drive rate, you dork.
No, that's like, you got to cut that in half. A line drive for Luis Guillorme is like, oh, but the line drive that just pops over the second baseman's head, and that's the
line drives. These are actual line drives.
No, that's not. That's a floater. A little floater in the left field.
Line drives.
These nerds want to call a line drive. But a hard hit ground balls are those are bad. But majority of them just a little shift beaters, not wife beater, little shift beaters for Luis Guillorme. Again, is he playing now because he's hot? He can play as hot, but we all know Luis Guillorme. He ain't that good. He's having his little folk here and gets on base. That batting average is going down. He ain't going to hit 390 or whatever the hell he's hitting right now. You know that's going to go back down to 250, 240. He's going to walk. He's got a good eye. I give him that. Plays great defense, and there's value to his defense. So he'll play right now, especially, if Eduardo Escobar's not hitting for power. You could play him at third base, maybe make Eddie the DH, maybe give Eddie some days off. Maybe Eddie needs a little break. Guillorme can play third. But do I think this guy is, this Mets version of Chris Taylor? Hell no. Chris Taylor actually hits the ball in the goddamn air and actually can hit with some oomph, not these little weak-ass wife beaters. So for me, again, he's a starter right now. We'll see if he keeps it going. The Dodgers are a good test, also beating up on the Phillies and Nationals. I mean, hell, give me in a couple ABs against the Nationals bullpen and starting rotation. Hell, I can hit a couple hits. I can beat the shift a few times. So, again, just had a good little stretch, John Bucky-ish, but we'll see how the Dodgers and the Padres and the Angels do to him. And if he's not going 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts again and a walk, back to being Luis Guillorme. So we'll see. That's my cat just ninja kicked something off the shelf. That's cool.
All right, so I'll give you ground balls. Yes, we don't like ground balls, but a 30% line drive rate, that's good. That's really, really good. League average is like 16%. That's really, really, really good. Anyways, the Penguins blew a 3-1 lead. All right, Frank, is he a starting caliber player on this roster right now?
Well, right now, definitely, because Francisco Lindor slammed a door on his middle finger on his right hand. Now we got all the details that we needed. So he's gonna have to start, especially because nobody else on this roster can play shortstop besides him. So besides obviously Lindor, so he's gonna be getting that kind of playing time. But also, like Andrew said, when it comes to off days, we've seen them give Mark Canha a lot of off days. So in those instances, you could put Luis Guillorme at second and put Jeff in left, which they've done a lot of recently, just trying to find different ways to get Guillorme in the lineup. Escobar, he also needs his days off as a guy who's older. They actually said on the broadcast this week, this is the oldest team in baseball, which I found pretty interesting. So Escobar needs his days off, Marte needs his days off, all these guys. So you just have that versatility where you put Guillorme somewhere and you move somebody else somewhere else. So they could do that. And I think one of the things that Guillorme doesn't get enough credit for was that last year, he did have an on-base percentage at 374. That's a really solid on-base percentage. Yeah, and I love his walks to strikeouts were even 23 apiece. So he's always had that kind of philosophy of gets on base, does a strikeout, puts the ball in play. He's always had that. But like Andrew said, all of his hits are in front of outfielders, not behind outfielders. But you know what? You'll take hits any way you can get them. I do like that he is going to opposite field with a majority of his hits, and he's up there with a very simple, compact approach. He's not trying to hit past the outfielders. He's just literally putting the bat on the ball and seeing what happens. And nowadays, with the way defenses are, if you take that approach, good things happen. We've seen Jeff McNeil take that approach. We've seen Nimmo do it a little more. We've seen Mark Canha do it. And we see starting Marte, we see all the success that these guys are having doing that. And I know we don't put a lot of stock in 2020, but I say it all the time. Luis Guillorme was the starting third baseman for, I believe it was like July, August, that time frame. And he was doing really well. At one point, his average was over 400 for the season. And then and it was because he was playing every single day.
Andrew's got the batting average.
Yeah, he was playing every single day.
Loser.
And then the Mets acquired Todd Frazier. Frazier got a lot of starts. Guillorme's playing time didn't have the same playing time, and he wasn't anywhere near the same guy. And we've talked about this with JD. We've talked about this with Dom. And I think Luis Guillorme is probably that same case where the more he plays, if he gets the consistent playing time and the rhythm, you're going to see the best version of him. So it's all going to be about maybe not overplaying him and just finding those little instances here and there. But I think as a super utility guy that is playing short, second, and third, he should be able – and you can even put him at third and DH Escobar if other guys are struggling or hurt or whatever. You just have that versatility having the DH at your disposal. So there are a lot of creative ways to get him onto this lineup. And it's like we said, if you hit well, you play. Right now he's on a hot streak. You ride it. You see what you get at him and see how long he could sustain it. And you just go from there.
Out of all the hype I give this guy, I'd still if he's a starting caliber player, I'd probably say overall no, because I do like the original role he has of being that starting caliber player that comes off the bench. But is Guillorme elite? Absolutely. Does Andrew not want to admit that because he looks like him? Absolutely. Did the Penguins blow a 3-1 lead? Absolutely. So the thing is that if Luis Guillorme continues to hit like this, which he probably won't, everyone's going to cool off, but he's a good ball player. He is a good ball player. He plays a great amount of defense. If you need him as a ninth inning defense type of guy to bring in, especially if Francisco Lindor is going to be slamming his finger into the fucking door now. But other than that, I mean, he's basically what I expect him to be. I mean, that's it. That's my vision of him. The slap spray hitter who gets on base, plays great defense. He provides their value. Like I've said, he's the Tim Tuffle of this team. All right. He's the heart and soul. All right. Anything else on Guillorme we can add? Other than that, we'll move on.
Just I think you like him, get it. I'd still take about 50 to 60 second basemen over him. He's just it's inconsistent. It's John Bucca. It's just fake.
There's no inconsistency.
It's fake. It's fake.
What is wrong with you?
It's fake.
What is
the
wrong with
WRC
you?
Plus is fake. It's all illusion. It's Mysterio. We're illusion that this guy's actually a good ball player.
So you don't like a guy who hits a lot of line drives?
No, he's Louis Domingue. Looks are deceiving. He sucks.
The one thing about him, he's never had over 10 RBIs in the season. And,
Exactly.
I like
We need
RBIs.
He's a table-setting hitter. He gets on base. Like we've said, he gets on base. You want JD Davis there?
He's got to go.
At third base.
Yeah.
You want JD Davis there at third base?
Hard.
No.
He hits the ball hard.
Would you like JD Davis to be playing third base?
No, thank you, sir.
He's got a
No?
cannon and he hits
Okay.
the ball hard. He hits the ball hard.
That's what I thought.
I like hard.
I mean, you're obviously hitting a guy who hits a lot of line drives. So what's Brett Beatty?
He's not. No. Brett Beatty actually hits the ball hard. Luis Guillorme is little duck.
What's
snorts.
Brett Beatty?
Beatty hits missiles. Missile hitters.
All right. Yeah, I'm so
Just
sure.
hits missiles.
Yeah, from the fucking
exit
bench
velo.
because he's on the IL. All right. Anyways, let's go to the outfield now. The Mets placed Travis Jankowski on the IL this week due to a fourth metacarpal fracture. I hope I'm saying that right. And this is not really about him, so forget about that poor bastard. In his place, the Mets called up Nick Plummer, a former first-round pick by the Cardinals back in 2015. The Mets signed him to a major league deal this offseason as a minor league free agent coming off a breakout year in AAA last year. Plummer has already made his mark, hitting 2 dongs already in 10 plate appearances. He's already accumulated a .3 Fangraphs wins above replacement. And I think I'm going to change this, may change up this, this question, but will he push Jankowski down the depth chart? I think we already know this by now, but he probably will. But thoughts on Nick Plummer, stuff like that. How should they use him? How should they utilize him? I'll say it like that. So Andrew, Plum Dog
millionaire, the man, the myth, the legend. How to use him? Again, you have options now, especially if with Dom Smith not here. Maybe now you can give Pete the DH and maybe put Mark Cannon at first base and then let Plum Dog play left. You can put him as the DH. You can do a lot of things now with the flexibility of having Dom Smith not on this roster. And going back to the two questions ago, because now Cannon can play first. If need be, maybe this is just more of an MLB The Show thing, but you can play third. So now you have some flex. You play all 3 outfield spots. Same thing with Nemo and Marte. But then now you can make Pete Alonso the DH to an extent, and you can put a Conha there. You can put James McCann when he's healthy. You can play first base, and you can make Pete Alonso the DH. The flexibility of having Dom not on this roster can make it open spots up for Nick Plummer because now you can mess around, especially if he's hitting. And he's homer in his first 2 starts. Obviously, that's the big thing. He only met ever to homer in his first 2 starts. And he hits missiles. The first AB in the big leagues against the Nationals or whatever. Hit a 103 line out to center. So this kid isn't Luis Guillorme. He doesn't hit little squibbers. He hits the ball hard and they go far. And he has the opposite field power. And I know you're going to bring up his similar Plummer-esque swing to a certain one-time All-Star, former of the New York Mets. But the Plum Dog needs to play. And you need to find playing time because, again, and I know Frank, I think, brought this up before, the Mets are becoming very left-handed. But, like, at this point, if the best hitters are left-handed, even lefty-righty, the Mets suck against left-handed pitching, which there's more, you have to brought in righties to kill lefties, and they still suck against lefties. But if Plummer's hitting, again, kind of like with Guillorme, you got to find a spot for him, and he can play all three alpha, he can play left, can put him at the DH. It's, again, not having Jom definitely opens more playing time for him, but I would love to see him and a certain guy in Syracuse be the lefty-righty platoon for the DH. That's obviously we would have to get rid of another guy, which maybe in future episodes we'll talk about, but I would be fine with him being the DH, and then, hell, maybe Canna can go DH, and then just alternate him and Canna in left field and DH for right now. I wouldn't mind that. Let's say lefty's on the mound, Canna plays as the DH, Canna and Plum Dog plays the outfield or something like that. I am all for playing him as the DH, but also getting him ABs and left, so kind of platooning with Canna. I think that's where he should play. The powers, this kid has, again, the power stroke developed in Springfield last year. And you're starting to see, obviously, but the first homer wasn't a cheapie. And the second one was a miss, so it didn't go as far as the first one, but it was still hit over 103 miles an hour to opposite field. So this kid's got the power, and especially that we're clamoring for, hey, the Mets need another power bat. He can provide that. And again, another guy or two guys down at Springfield in Syracuse can provide that as well. So before we go out and trade prospects, see how this kid runs with it. If he steeps the power, obviously he's not going to homer in every single AB of his career, but he could pop you 15 to 20. And then maybe if you want to go Ventos or the Polk Dog. Polk Dog has already hit 28 in the big leagues. Ventos has that ability. If you want to, he could hit 30 homers if you want to make him just to sit down DH. So for right now, I'm letting him run. Like with Guillorme, let the hot hand run and see how far he can go with it. And it's more power in this lineup that they desperately need.
All right. Well, Frank, Nick Plummer.
Yeah, I
trying different ways to say his name.
I think, like Andrew said, since Dom isn't here, Dom was mostly getting DH reps. I think that is a good spot for Nick Plummer. For the Mets, I talked about off-stream, them being very left-handed dominant. And the past 2 days, the Mets faced left-handed pitching, so you did not see Nick Plummer make a start because they were facing a lefty. So I guess that's just how they're going to utilize him as a guy that faces right-handed pitching. So I hope we see him tonight, just because I again, when I talk about like Luis Guillorme, I don't want this kid to lose his rhythm and lose his confidence, because I hate to see where we saw, like in San Francisco, J.D. Davis had the 4-hit game, and then the next day he wasn't playing. Or Luis Guillorme had a great game, and the next day he wasn't playing. I think that really hurts a guy's confidence where they put together this great game and they're saying, really? Like, what more do I have to do? I'm not getting rewarded. And it's very, it's frustrating, especially when you're a young guy that's really trying to make a name for yourself. The team that drafted you gave up on you and you're trying to make a statement. You had your chance in the major leagues earlier this year. You got sent down. You didn't have enough playing time. So this is such a big time in Nick Plummer's career that you want to see this guy play and see what he has. Because like Andrew said, does he have that missing element that this team needs right now, which is a power hitter, and not just any power hitter, but a balanced power hitter where the first home run, second deck, over 100 miles an hour. I mean, really nice shot. But then to go opposite field the very next day, you don't have a lot of guys on this team that could do that. You have very few guys on this team that could do that on a day-to-day basis. So you just want to give it a try, see what happens. He still is very young. He is a top 10 prospect, and it's not like he's a complete no-name. It's not like he's just some absolute scrub. So there is some potential in him. We know he has a nice swing. It kind of gives you some bad flashbacks, good flashbacks for some people, but for me, bad flashbacks. So, there is that whole element going on, but I do want to see one of the things that I am kind of thinking about is we've seen Mark Canha. He played some center field while Nimmo was out. I wonder if the Mets would consider putting Plummer in left and Canha in center field a little more frequently to DH Nimmo to keep him away from the injured list, because this guy always finds a way to get injured. And we know how important Brandon Nimmo is to this team's success. So if you could just try to keep Nimmo healthy, it could be something to experiment with every now and then when you have everyone fully healthy. Because like we said, Canha's going to get his days off. Marte's going to get his days off. Nimmo's going to get his days off. So Nick Plummer, similar to Guillorme, is still going to find his way into the lineup. And again, when you have the DH that is wide open against right-handers, that spot is open for him as well. So, but as far as will he push Jankowski down in the depth chart, That depends how good he swings the bat because they have two very different skill sets. We know Jankowski was more of a speed guy, late game defense, particularly in center field. Jankowski was not swinging a good bat. Maybe it had to do with the whole finger injury. That could be part of it. But I think they have two different skill sets. So I think it's really going to come down to how does Nick Plummer play? If he plays pretty good, not amazing, but solid enough, like I said, if he's in that 20 home run range, I'm perfectly fine with that. That would be exactly what they need. And then you kind of see, like, is J.D. Davis coming along yet, or is he still kind of inconsistent? And then you could decide, all right, well, does J.D. Davis have more value, or does a Travis Jankowski have more value? Or do we call up Mark Vientos? Or like Andrew said, do we call up Daniel Polka? I think they're going to have some questions to answer as time goes on. But similar to Guillorme, you ride the hot hand, see if it sticks, see if what happens, and just go from there.
All right, well, the lineup is out, and you have Nimmo, Marte, Guillorme batting third.
My goodness.
Alonso, McNeil, Canna, Escobar, Davis, and Mazika. Free the fucking plum dog.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So
Why?
how does the guy build up a rhythm? How does he build up confidence if he goes back on the bench and you're finally facing a righty? And you're gonna face two left-handers in this series in Tyler Anderson and Julio Urias. So that's 2 more days Nick Plummer's not playing. So what are you gonna do? Just to be like, okay, just go face Walker Buehler. Oh yeah, sure, no problem. Like, I mean, what is that?
Walker
that just
Buehler
makes
sucks.
no
He'll be fine.
sense.
Walker Buehler sucks. He'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know why he's not in the lineup, especially
because
again,
Dom
out.
Because J.D. Davis is going to get those starts against the 2 lefties. J.D. Davis just started the past 2 games. Let Plummer play. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't get it. But speaking of Travis Jankowski, I don't think we're going to see him again personally because, again, Plummer got a major league deal. Jankowski got a minor league deal. I don't think there's a lot. There's a lot of speed options that they have in AAA that they can easily replace him with. It's not like Jankowski was swinging this amazing bat before he got injured. And yeah, I mean, Plummer's a better all-around player compared to Jankowski. I mean, that's pretty much a given. And no one will shut the fuck up about how he has a Conforto swing because apparently I deserve to suffer. But he makes the bench even stronger. I really like this kid, and hopefully he gets to play tonight off the bench, and we'll see. All right, so
can I do something that happened last time and maybe it can be a benefit? Can I do something very evil? J.D. Davis is going to hit a double tonight. And he's going to blow out his hamstring.
Okay.
Here goes Andrew trying to hurt people again. I mean, Carter, I just wanted to say real quick, since we have the lineup right here, you talked about how, like, as much as you like Guillorme, if he's like a starting player, you're kind of concerned. I mean, if he's your number 3 hitter.
I mean, no, he belongs in the 3 hole. He's a GOAT. He's the GOAT. He belongs in the 3 hole. I know he led off a lot when he was in AAA.
We talked about Lindor having an RBI in 10 straight games. Meanwhile, you're going to put
he just replaced Guillorme with.
I could already see this guy's going to come up with
he replaced Lindor with Guillorme in the 3 spot. That's it.
He's coming up with the bases loaded.
So
twice.
Basically, Guillorme deserves $341 million.
$340 million,
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you see what he's been putting up since he shaved the beard. Yeah, exactly. He's the highest WRC plus on the team. Or no, maybe Nick Plummer does, but
yeah, Nick's got a 368. Yeah, it's elite. 368 WRC plus. Elite.
268% higher than the league average. For those who don't know. All right, let's get to a bum from the White Sox who just got DFA'd this week. The White Sox just designated Dallas Keuchel for assignment, buying out the last of his 3-year deal worth over $55 million with a 2023 club option. Now, yesterday, Andy Martino returned from his Twitter hiatus. He came back from eating live puppies to report that Keuchel Keuchel has cleared waivers. So you look at the Mets, who are currently missing Tyler McGill and Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom. Tons of Mets media sources have labeled Keuchel as a no-brainer for the Mets. So would this benefit the Mets? I mean, Dallas Keuchel. What do you think? GM, would you do it? Rhino, what do you think?
It's literally free. Why the hell not? Like, it's free. It's $700K. You need 2 starts till Tyler's back, till McGill's back. You trust in Tomas Sapaki? You trust in, Yohan Lopez? Yeah, Yohan Lopez is a legend. He wants to fight Nolan Arenado. And, Thomas Sapaki, we knew how that goes. You can't get worse than that. And can he fluke 2 starts? Taijuan Walker's making a career out of it this year. 50.8% ground ball rate. The FIP's bad. Again, everything besides he gets a lot of ground balls. And, having Tim Anderson play shortstop compared to having Francisco Lindor play shortstop. Yeah, that saves a few runs on the board because, Tim Anderson, not a fleetest of foot and a great defender. So, obviously, and going from a platinum to a platinum glove upside shortstop defensively, and then Guillorme compared to Yoan Moncada defensively, and Jose Abreu at first base. You're upgrading legit in every position defensively. And his heavy ground ball rate, why not? It's $750K. And if he sucks, guess what? You just cut his ass, and it's $700K to your name. You're not paying the Robinson. This isn't a Cano situation where, you got to pick up $20 million. No, it's legit $770K. Why the hell not? Get the 2 starts. If he completely sucks ass like he's done this year, you just cut bait and move on. And by the time you cut bait, McGill will be back. And then probably right around the corner of that, Jake's probably coming back. So for free, I'd jump on it. It's another former Cy Young to pitch for the Mets. And hell, if he pitches well, you could have a full Cy Young rotation of deGrom, Scherzer, Keuchel. You go out and trade for another former Cy Young Award winner. Have, the Dodgers rotation from last year. So, again, it's free. If you can fluke you 2 starts, 5 innings, give up 3 runs or less, it's what you kind of need, and it's an extra arm. And you don't have to see a Thomas Sapaki, or you don't got to force call up potentially Jose Budo. It's free. And I have a saying: if it's free, it's for me. So it's free. Go pick it up.
You made up that saying?
I don't know. I just say it all the time.
Oh, it's the first I ever heard of it in my many years, many circles around the sun. That's the first time I ever heard someone mention that saying. Jeez.
Frank, what do you think? Because this guy's dead over here. Dallas Keuchel. He's dead.
I agree with you, Andrew, and this is my reasoning, is that let's say, because, it's June, so anything is possible. Mm-hmm. If another starting pitcher does get hurt, who makes a start for the Mets?
Sabaki. Yeah.
That can't happen. So I think just for that alone, you sign Dallas Keuchel and you see what happens, because at least Dallas Keuchel has more major league experience and success than Thomas Sapaki has. And you just see what Hefner could do with Dallas Keuchel, because we've seen him work his magic with so many pitchers. He's such a great pitching coach, and the Mets have been such a good pitching team. That high ground ball rate, you feel like he probably could figure out something with Dallas Keuchel. And like you said, he has that good infield defense behind him. Because I'll take my chance with Dallas Keuchel over Tom Sapaki. And the thing is that I want the Mets to sign him as soon as possible, because let's just say that another team picks up Keuchel and the Mets get by with what they have. Trevor Williams is fine. David Pearson is fine. Those other guys come back, but then the injuries happen again. And then it's like, oh, well, Dallas Keuchel's off the board. Trade deadline's over. We don't really have any other options. Where it's like, at least if you sign Dallas Keuchel, you could put David Pearson back in the minor leagues, and you could just have that depth, and you could just be a lot more flexible. Move Trevor Williams to the bullpen. Put David Pearson in the bullpen. You would have that flexibility just in case, because you don't know how long DeGrom's going to take. Because, again, we know DeGrom could come back and be gone again. Max Scherzer, who knows how long it's going to take. It could be a while before he's actually on the mound again. So I think that just, again, to cover all bases, prepared for all scenarios, you never know when a guy's going to slam a hotel door on his finger. I think the Mets just have to have as many arms as possible. So I definitely think they should get Keuchel.
All right.
You okay?
Fuck you. This guy stinks. Just let
free,
it go. I can't do it.
Bro, he's free. It's like you see a free donut, you're not gonna pick it up. Come on, it's free.
Listen, the fucking listen. The Mets fans are pushing this because they're settling for the statement of, oh well, he's better than Thomas Sapucki. He's better than Mike Montgomery. I mean, this is just a waste of time, people. His stuff isn't good anymore. It's never been really that good. He's also the keeper of one of the luckiest Cy Young Award campaigns ever. But that's a story for another day. I mean, listen, this is just not it. You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't even think Hefner can fix this guy at this point. I'm not dealing with an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. We already have a fastball terrorist in Taiwan Walker, who I'm going to watch get shelled tonight. So I don't need another one. I'm sorry. I can't do this. Enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Sierra. She hasn't liked Keuchel ever. She's always. I mean, honestly, knowing Andrew, he probably would. If it's like a Chick-fil-A moldy sandwich, he'd probably pick it up.
Sierra has nothing to do with stuff.
But then the other thing I was gonna say is that all these reporters and everybody say it's a no-brainer for the Mets. Well, then why haven't they done it? You know,
Because
I mean
he's trash.
that's the thing that concerns me. Like maybe they did bring it up to Hefner, and Hefner was like, "I can't even I can't even do it." So it is possible. He could be beyond repair. Like that definitely is a possibility.
But again, and I'll say it again.
Prioritized 87-mile-an-hour fastball, folks. Prioritized.
But I'll say it again.
No, sinker 88. So we're fine.
We're
okay.
fine. Right now, anyone who puts on this jersey this year has had moments. We only need 2. That's all I'm going to say.
He's
free.
Going to get shelled.
How much he'll throw a no-hitter?
I don't care, man.
But the only
shelled.
The only reason why the Mets should do this is because other than Randy Johnson, he's the second best pitcher and MLB The Show. So,
fact.
I mean, they would have that going.
Mets elite. Lindor's all right. Some people say he's good. MLB The Show. I don't love his swing per se. Nemo used to be elite. So, and again, look at the Braves. They won a World Series with Nemo.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about hockey, Boomer.
End of story. The story is that the guy isn't good anymore. He never really was that good, but he was good at a moment, and he's not good anymore. Stop with this crap.
No, we need you to have more brain damage, so we need him on the Mets.
I can't have just even for like 2 weeks seeing Dallas Keuchel and Taiwan Walker back-to-back days.
Against the Angels.
Die.
Against the Angels. Ohtani against Keuchel and friggin' Syndergaard versus Walker. Who says no?
Syndergaard's arm is more cooked than Walker's, but
I mean, the Angels were they gonna lose 8 in a row? Jeez,
8 in a row, baby.
The Angels.
Free Mike Trout. Aaron Loop sucks. But move on. Speaking of bullpen.
Over the last month, the Mets have been able to plug in some bullpen pieces since the injuries to arms like Trevor May, Sean Reed-Foley, etc. Now, these 2 guys have been lights out. You have Colin Holderman, a heavy sinker bowler with explosive swing and miss stuff. Then you also have Steven Nogosek, fastball cutter mixing slinger. He's got a crazy active spin, which allows him to go multiple innings or so per outing. Now, this bullpen is actually going to get very interesting because as time passes, it can look very different next year. We have loads of pending free agents. Seth Lugo, Edwin Diaz. You have Trevor May. You have
Ottavino.
Adam Ottavino. You have Trevor Williams.
The whole bullpen.
Joely.
You have Joely Rodriguez. Sorta, I guess. There was some condition where he's a free agent or whatever. So the next generation of arms for the Mets is very, very likely, and it's interesting how these pieces are going to fall into place. But we look at Colin Holderman, we look at Steven Nogosek. Are these guys someone that you'd be able to say, hey, they're going to be my long-term bullpen arms? They are guys that can be big pieces to the Mets bullpen coming next year, the year after that, and the year after that. So Colin Holderman and Steven Nogosek. I'll start with Frank. What do you think? Are these guys can these guys be key pieces long term?
I think, well, luckily for the Mets, they have the entire season to decide that. At least they're not making that decision on June 2nd. But I like what I've seen from Holderman a lot. Nogosek has also been impressive. Holderman has done it more like in higher leverage situation. Nogosek been more like a long reliever, which is fine because you need both of those. And I think it's important for the Mets to keep these guys up as long as they can and see what they have to kind of help them make those decisions down the road, because it would be so ideal if you could build your bullpen around homegrown guys that have years of control compared to doing the constant 1 to 2 year deals of the $10 million. And then it's like, oh, who are we going to get next? Like, you hope you could have like those homegrown relievers. And the only issue is that let's say Halderman and Nogosek have good years with bullpen. You never know. Next year, maybe they're not good. So it's the toughest position to evaluate. It's the toughest position to project and, see who's going to be a long-term guy who isn't. But I've definitely been impressed with what I've seen in both of them. And I imagine both of them are going to stay in the bullpen for a while, it seems like. So I think, this will be a good test. There's West Coast swing. And if you put Holderman in a big spot against the Dodgers, against the Padres, the Angels, and he continues to show success, then, I don't see why not. I feel like you keep running them out there. And similar, like we said, with Plummer and Guillorme, you ride the hot hand and you find out who's a real player and who's just kind of getting lucky or who's like not sustainable. And I think that's what the Mets are going to have to do. So I think they both could be long-term pieces to the pen, but luckily they don't have to make that decision yet. So I'm not going to go one way or another yet because I still think it's pretty early. And I just want to see a little more before I make a complete decision.
All right. Well, Andrew, you got No-Go Dog and you got Holder Chad.
Holder Dog. We're not. All right, Chad. I need the Chad. Chad's going to end this right now. Would you rather be called a Chad or a dog? And tell me why it's a dog, because Chads are stupid.
No, Holder Chad's better, though.
Holder Dog.
It just sounds better.
Holder
Dog.
Holder Dog. It's like Underdog. Holder Dog. But whatever. We're talking about the people, not a crazy cool nickname, because everybody's a dog and has that dog mentality. Holderman, like you said, Metsfan and I have been clamoring for him ever since May went down. We were the guys, hey, get this kid up here. And he's pitched well, like Frank said. He's gotten the bigger, higher leverage spots. Obviously, he got in the 10th inning of the Cardinal game, which is obviously the first one, where he got the double play to Pujols, and then Pete obviously wins it in the 10th inning with his first big league win. Stolen a few big league wins. He's now 3-0, good win-loss record for Colin Holderman. We like those win-loss records. The Vulture almost. Is he the modern-day Vulture? Who knows? But, again, Nogosek, it's nice to see. He's got a good mustache. He's a great guy on Twitter. But, obviously I have more belief in Holderman than I do with Nogosek. Again, if Nogosek can be one of these quality arms that, like, hey, blow out, maybe if the bullpen's dead, maybe you move him up into a 6th, 7th inning role. Possible. But obviously I've been a bigger fan of Holderman. Again, the FIPS have been good. Nogosek's FIPS a little higher than what's it called? Obviously, like I said, more ground balls from Holderman. A lot of fly balls, not good Sierra. We don't like fly balls. And Nogosek's had some outings where he's gotten a lot of fly balls, which we don't like fly balls. But again, there's still more coming. You've got the side armor, Hachiko, whatever the hell you say his name. If you want to bring another huge unit, Bryce Montes de Oca could be, obviously this man's another simp for him. He's massive and throws 100. So the Mets are starting to build, and they have Calvin Ziegler, where I think he'll be a top reliever, another one of these like 3/4 inch guys. So the Mets, you can start to see what the future Mets bullpen will look like in years. Ziegler is already in Binghamton. He'll get moved up fast. Dioka just got moved up to Syracuse. So you're going to start seeing these guys move up fast. And maybe the first wave of kind of seeing what the Dodgers do, where you're just starting to see arms come through. Maybe that's the first thing of that first Mets looking like the Dodgers is going to be the arms, especially now, another big draft coming up where maybe Epdog takes some more college arms so they get to the big leagues faster. But I love Holderman, Nogosek, the no-go dog, the no-go stash, whatever you want to call him. It's more. I see him more as a fluke than what he is, but hey, I'll take shutout innings. Sierra, I really could care less about. Just give me outs. But Holderman, I've said, is the future closer. Drew Smith and him kind of going to be together at the hit, set up to 9th inning, the closer. I think Holderman's going to be the closer of the two. Smith will stay in that 8th inning role. But again, you got arms coming. You're starting, like I said, I've yelled at this man below me a few times on this show. You keep doing 1-year deal with relievers. You don't want to get stuck with a Liam Hendricks contract. As good as Liam Hendricks is, and it's God, look at that Raisel Iglesias contract. That looks great too. You don't pay relievers more than one if he's young 2-year deals, but you would love a 1+1 type deal. You don't pay a reliever. And then the Mets are starting to find those arms, drafting and developing arms where you don't only need to sign. Hey, add a seventh, add an Vino type, add maybe or Blake Trinan with the Roy. Like let's say the Dodgers. Blake Trinan was a gem with the A's, one closer of the year, then sucked the next year. What did the Dodgers do? Oh shit, Blake Trinan back to being Blake Trinan with the Dodgers. So do stuff like that. Especially with relievers. They flip-flop more than women in South Jersey. They're all flippity-flop year by year. You can't trust them. They're not good. They could be great one day, and then they could be terrible the next. Relievers are finicky. If you develop young arms, that's the benefit to paying relievers. There's a lot of great out-of-context clips today. It's been some good ones.
All right. Now, I think
got him, broke his ass.
I think Colin Holderman's going to be a star, and he reminds me so much of Clay Holmes, the guy on the Yankees, who has been so dominant recently. I see him as a long-term piece to this bullpen. I think he's going to be fantastic. Steven Nogosek is good, but there's like nothing special that pops out about him as a long-term piece. Good cutter, or great cutter, good slider. He's a good innings eater, a guy that you can call up, say, hey, we need you to eat some innings. And, there you go. I mean, you look at these free agent relievers, and Edwin Diaz is like the only one that I'm like 100% on board of bringing back. Do I think they will? No, I don't think they're going to. Now, forming the bullpen for next year, we do have John Curtis. People forget about him, who will be healthy next year and is a fantastic arm. Jake Reed, Drew Smith, Sean Reed-Foley, all under control years. And then we also have like those minor league arms like we've been talking about that I've been really impressed with how they've developed. Bryce Montes de Oca. We have Brian Metoyer, who I think has been fantastic, but just hurt. We have that guy Otanez too, right? Josh Walker, Connor Gray, and then that sidearm guy that we can never pronounce, Josh Hejkikaka. So, I mean, we'll see what they're going to do. I mean, nothing's set in stone with, again, like how relievers are going in and out, back and forth. But the Mets have had a weakness in the past of developing high-regarded relievers in the past besides Seth Lugo. And, maybe this will be a point of emphasis in the new regime. And I really hope that it is, because with how much arms go in and out, you always have to have the next man up. So we'll see. But Colin Holderman, I think he's going to be amazing. I love his stuff. And Nogosek is a quality arm. I don't think he's anything amazingly special. And I'm sorry for saying that because he has liked a few of my tweets. We are basically best friends. But other than that, I mean, it's just, we'll see. I don't know. I think for the time being, I think Holderman is someone who is going to turn a lot of heads, and he already has. And he could be a possibility to replace Edwin Diaz if they don't bring him back. And another guy being Bryce Montes de Oca, where you can have that as your eighth and your ninth. Anything else we can talk about the bullpen, because
what a fake Drew Smith fan.
Subject of craziness these past few years.
Drew Smith fan already passed over to his new simp job in de Oca. Wow.
Drew Smith is not a closer. He's a minor league reliever.
He's
a
minor league reliever. But you didn't even give him the setup role. You're like de Oca and Holderman. Damn.
They're young. They're young boys. Okay. Bryce Montes de Oca throws 103 miles an hour down the dick, all right? I don't care.
He's Tommy John waiting to happen again, even though he's already had it. He's already waiting for another one.
No, he induces ground balls. He's got good breaking stuff, so that means that his elbow is fine. And he's also 6'7", 265 pounds. Mets Talk with Hayden. You just joined us. Could Nogosek and Holderman be key pieces, long-term pieces to the pen? What do you think? You can also introduce yourself if you want.
Yeah,
Make sure everybody knows.
Yeah, what's going on, everyone? Apologies for the late pop-in. Had a couple things to take care of. But, yeah, I mean, Nogosek and Holderman, I mean, really have been holding down the fort very well for this bullpen. I mean, coming into the season, they were the two guys that no one really – I mean, yeah, we saw a little bit of Nogosek last year. I think he was more of a meme because of his mustache. But realistically, I think both of those guys could be long-term pieces for the future. Obviously, when it comes to multi-years with relievers – there's probably one reliever out there that I would consider having multi-years, and that's Josh Hader. Otherwise, relievers are streaky. Look at Aaron Loop. So, yeah, I mean, I'd be very cognizant with them, but, I mean, they've looked good right now. I mean, Holderman gave up his first run in, a dozen innings pitched. Nogosek has yet to even give up a single run this season. So I've been loving what I've been seeing out of both of them. I mean, they've been more trustworthy than, Trevor May or, all those crazy command, guys. That's the biggest thing for this team is we have too many bullpen arms that rely on, that slider, crazy, low command pitch, and it's a little excessive. But, yeah, I mean, I definitely think so. They could definitely be a big key to this piece down the line.
All right. Well, it's just we are now coming towards the end here with our closing segment. Everyone's favorite, studs and duds. Now, there's been lots of studs. Duds are a little bit harder to come by recently because the team's doing pretty well. Everything's sunshine and rainbows. We'll start with Andrew. We'll go around the room. Stud of the week. Go ahead.
So you're the opposite. You love to end on negativity.
We're ending on negativity. Yes.
Since nobody took him last week, and he even had a hell of a lot better year this week, being named National League Player of the Week. So the obvious answer is Francisco Lindor. I hate being the generic answer, but it's legit. He won National League Player of the Week. So, statistically the best player of the week for the Mets. Again, the RBI streak coming up big. Again, batting average. We need the batting average over 280. Shove it, nerds. You bunch of haters. You're just trying to find shit to hate on. Lighter version of Carlos Beltran, because Beltran would have hit 40 homers and 40 doubles. Lindor might hit 30. So, and no disrespect to the greatest center fielder in Mets history. So, stud of the week, Francisco
Wilson, yeah. What does Mookie Wilson have to do with Francisco Lindor? Okay. Frank, stud of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the guy we talked about a little earlier, but Starling Marte. I mean, over the last 7 days, Marte hitting 385, 429 on base percentage, and since now OPS, the big stat, they have it on the scoreboard at Citi Field, instead batting average, 1,159 OPS for Starling Marte in the last 7 days. He also has 7 ribeyes, a stolen base. We've seen some home runs. We've seen some triples. We've seen some making catches in right field, good throws. He's just doing so many things for this team right now. He's looking more and more like the guy that they signed for a guy to be very, versatile and dynamic that could just do a lot of things for a team, spark a ball club, and he's been doing that. So I really like what I've seen this past week from him.
All right. Hayden, stud of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I know he was a couple of people's picks last week, my apologies. But I'm going to go Luis Guillorme. This dude, I mean, really has came out of the light. I kind of bashed on him earlier this season and, in the offseason and last year. I referred to him as defensive Guillorme. I thought he was a 9th inning, 8th inning defensive guy. Oh, I didn't care about his walk rate, his on-base percentage. But this dude really shut me up. I mean, the last 15 games, batting .452, OBP of .540, and a slugging of .500. I mean, yeah, this dude isn't going to hit for power. He's not going to hit home runs. But he'll get plenty of little bloopers, little BABIP hits, go the other way, hit the ball off the end of the bat, walk. So, 7 walks in the last 7 games. That's phenomenal. 3 walks in yesterday's game. Really been loving what I'm seeing out of Guillorme. I know it's unfortunate last year, bringing in VR, that kind of prevented Guillorme from, trying to really show off who he was, because you had VR taking his main utility second shortstop third base role. So really good that Guillorme is with this team. I don't know if he just needed to trim the beard or what was the thing with this dude, but he's been outstanding, and hopefully he can keep it up. We'll see, but I'll take what he's given us now.
All right. My stud is Trevor Williams. This guy does not get enough credit for how good of a job that he has done coming off of 13 consecutive scoreless innings. We talk about who's a dog. This man is the dog. He is the dog mentality. Trevor Williams, the dog. He does not have the best stuff. He's not flashy, but he gets the job done and he shoves. And as we've said earlier, he's a pending free agent. And to be honest, I think that he is going to be one of the most underrated arms on the market. That's what I do believe, because I think Trevor Williams is a very decent quality arm. He also has the main characteristic that makes all major league pitchers successful, and that is the fact that he's better than Taijuan Walker. That's it.
A baddie, all right.
Any other honorable mentions that we can say for stud and dud? We've had a lot of studs, so we can put out some honorable mentions. We have not. Nobody said Nick Plummer.
I was just gonna say now we're not doing duds now.
Yeah, I had Lugo on my list as well. He's been pretty good lately. He had a couple of those multi-inning outings, so I think we saw a more version of Seth Lugo that we're familiar with. So I liked that.
Okay,
I actually have an honorable mention.
All right, go ahead.
I was gonna say Mark Canha. I know he had that 4-game hit streak, or four at bat, 4 hits in a game, first time in his career. Canha's really been looking pretty solid. Obviously, I know that he gets his reps in the higher tier of this lineup compared to the lower tier. It switches off, and I think he's a guy who just gets on base. He works the count sanely. Just like Nimmo, you give him an 0-2 count, he manages to get a walk still. So I think Canha definitely an honorable mention.
There you go.
You got one more guy, JD Davis. Last 7 days, 364, 462, 825 OPS. So
trash. He's your person. Stop it.
He's a person. Damn right.
Another one I do want to mention though. How about Jeff McNeil? He's okay, but
no, he was pretty
pulled
bad.
Off a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't have a good week. He
didn't have a good week, but fine. I'll recognize him. Why not? All right, let's get to duds. Let's destroy someone. Dud. Go ahead, Andrew. Who do you got?
I'm going to turn heel on a guy that I love. I need this man to start a YouTube channel just to teach me how the hell does he throw that slider. It's Ottavino. It's Otto. This just monkey wire tightrope. Hey, I'm going to walk. And yeah, the walks are the problem, whatever. And the biggest thing with him is like, if he's fully rested, it's great. But don't bring this guy in 2 days in a row and God buck. Don't do it when he's done on 3 days in a row, because every time that this guy goes out on back-to-back days, the second day is a cluster of, well, there's a walk, there's a Babbitt single, there's an error by Eduardo Escobar, and now he's got guys on base, and then he'll strike the next 2 guys out. He might get out of it, but my heart rate accelerates faster than my damn cheeseburger situation. It's just bad. So Otto has to get in. Like we said, they've played so damn well. It's so hard to find a dud where you're like, now we're nitpicking to say, hey, this guy, because he's got my heart rate up, I don't like that. Adam Ottavino.
He also almost blew the Sunday night game.
In the Sunday night game, yeah.
Cheeseburger situation. That sucks. Goddamn cheeseburger situation. Frank, dud of the week. Who do you got?
Yeah, it's like Andrew said, we really had a nitpick here. We really had to, get really specific. But I actually have Patrick Mazeika, and the reason why he's 0 for his last 7. So he did not get any hits this past week. I don't think he got on base this past week. Yeah, he didn't even draw a walk. So, he's literally done absolutely nothing offensively the past week. So, he's got to be a dud.
Frank hates Amish people confirmed. That's Amish hate. Stop Amish hate.
Is he even Amish? I don't even
No,
know.
he just looks Amish, and I call him Amish. He just looks like a dude that lives in Philadelphia.
Just add it to the Andrew
The mix.
racist
the Andrew
compilation.
mixtape.
The mix between a garden gnome and the mayor of Amish country, as we call
Yes,
him.
sir.
Hayden, who you got as your dud?
Yeah, I mean, kind of to echo what Frank's saying, they're really, I mean, majority of this lineup was hitting. I mean, we had back-to-back games where we scored double digits. So, like, it's kind of hard, but I guess I'm going to go Adam Ottavino also. I mean, the Sunday night game was a disaster. I mean, Ottavino's the guy who, I guess, just, like, his stuff is really nasty, like that slider. I mean, the movement off of the plate is, like, literally 10 feet off the plate. But if pitchers aren't going to swing at it, then he's not effective and he's going to walk the ballpark. But if you're getting this free swinger, high chase rate guy, yeah, he's going to do a good job. But when you have guys out there that'll draw a lot of walks, that's going to be a big issue. So, throwing the fastball in the 0-2 pitch, kind of let Castellanos take advantage of there. He made everyone's heart race the other day or yesterday. So I'm just going to go Ottavino. I get it. He's been pitching a little bit well, but yeah, it's just hard to pick right now. I mean, yeah.
Okay, Frank's response to Cohen got me. Okay, that got me. All right.
What?
What happened with Steve Cohen?
That gets an applause. That was really good. I like that. He said, "Can you get an automatic door for Lindor?" That's a good one.
That's
I like
high
that.
quality meme right there.
I like
Good
that.
move.
That's a good one. Okay. I'm also gonna say Patrick Mazeika again. This one is like kind of a throwaway because there hasn't really been that many duds. But like I think we all can agree he's just not that good. He's just Patrick Mazeika. I would love to call up Nick Mayer and see what he's got. I mean, in the time being when this fucking fat guy who keeps jerking off in the time being while he's out. Is Mazeika better than McCann? Yes,
No.
but that's not really that hard to do.
I mean, even
Other than
McCann
that,
gets
I'd
on
say
base
Mazeika.
once, even by an error because he hit it on the ground.
No.
Like he gets on base somehow.
He sucks.
No, but
not a
hitter, caught a no hitter.
Two no-hitters in
No
his
one
career,
likes-
but one as a Met.
Yeah.
No one. Okay,
Giolito.
first of all, the first no-hitter I'm pretty sure was Lucas Giolito, right?
Right.
2020 didn't fucking count. All right, first one. Second one, it was combined pitchers. Those aren't real no-hitters. So there you
Oh,
go.
boy, here we go.
I have a question. I have a question.
What do you want?
Why do you have a testicle in your hand?
It's a matzo ball.
That look like a testicle.
I have
It is a
a
testicle.
honorable mention for a dud because this still kind of bugs me. I have Chasen
Oh.
Shreve because
Oh, yeah.
of the home run he gave up on Friday that completely ruined Carrasco's good start and completely ruined the whole feel of that Friday game where we were kind of just chilling, had a nice big lead on the Phillies. Like, oh, lol, Phillies, they can't catch the ball. We're cruising. Then all of a sudden that game got really close and stayed close the entire time. So Chasen Shreve has the honorable mention for me because I feel bad for Carrasco because Carrasco has such a good start. And then Shreve gets all his guys to score, and then Carrasco's numbers and his whole start got messed up.
ERA. You got
Danny
bad.
Moran gives up lefty nukes, bro. Imagine giving up all
Yeah,
lefties.
to a no-name
was that
catcher,
guy?
too. It
What
was
was
a
his name?
no-name catcher.
It was
Was
Nat.
that-
Garrett
Yeah,
Stubbs.
Stubbs.
Garrett
It was
Stubbs,
Stubbs, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
And
what
then
happened to Jason Shreve. I'm pretty
then,
upset.
Again,
What's going on
Frank,
with him?
does Jesse Winker ever hit a home run versus a lefty in MLB The Show?
No. But
So
does
how
he
the
go
hell do you
Jason
give up a
Shreve?
home in real life?
Yeah, and he also messed up one of Lugo's outings, too. Now Lugo's ERA is messed up because Jason Shreve gave up the home
Oh, who
run.
cares about Lugo? He's cooked.
Call him Alex Claudio and said this
Lugo
guy.
is not cooked.
Lugo is absolutely cooked. That dude's arm is legitimate pastrami.
Another dud is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim's offense, who, with Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, the two best pitchers in the American League, Jameson Taillon's throwing a perfect game right now through 5 innings. So wake up.
I want to watch that. Watch that.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Francisco Lindor.
Overrated.
Other than that, June is here. Francisco Lindor has slammed his finger into a door. Lovely. I'm
Somebody's gonna
pretty
get attacked by a
sure
bear in
Jacob
LA.
deGrom will be on trial for murder tomorrow.
Yeah, he's not traveling with the team to
He
Los
isn't
Angeles.
traveling with the team, so who the hell knows what he's going to do? He's a very quiet guy, so who the fuck knows? Jesus Christ. Other than that, I think we're going to close it out here and cut it short at an hour and a half. And TonyMetro could not join us today, and we'll make sure of his studs and duds on the graphic tomorrow. Excuse me. I'll let Andrew outro himself.
Yeah, like I said, the prospect video's up, pipeline video's up. We will have sometime this week. We'll do stupid ass tubs late night watching the Mets Dodgers one day this weekend. Don't know what day specifically yet. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday night. Who knows? You know, we'll have a few alcoholic beverages, and we'll just watch the Mets and Dodgers. Watch Walker Buehler versus David Peterson. That might be the fun game. Have a drinking game. How many David Peterson, why do you belong in the big league moments there are? Besides that, second channel. Actually might have a second channel vlog because MLB The Show did gift me my 95 Brett Beatty. So maybe I'll do a debut on the second channel, having some fun playing with Brett and the other prospect cards. And we'll maybe just do that on the second channel. That's really all I got. I had feature content, but kind of like how Frank About Sports has said, if the Mets win, we really don't got much to bitch about. So that doesn't make videos for us, but there's still potentially, once we get closer to the end of this month, then the trade deadline stuff starts to wrap up way too early. Trade deadline predictions and ideas and stuff like that will start flowing. And obviously now we've got a Dom Smith potential trade coming up. So like I said, anything happens, we will break anything. Maybe more videos coming to this channel potentially, or my channel, obviously, and this channel potentially. So look out, Rhino out, and Darth Vader will kill you.
That was smooth. All right, Frank.
Yeah, like I said, hopefully we can get a tub stream going sometime this weekend, because why not, right? I mean, because like I said, it's just tough when the team is winning. I mean, I can't make Luis Ross needs to be fired. I can't make all those fun things. You send Drew Smith down to the minor leagues. Like I can't make any of those videos right now. So we'll see what happens. There is going to be more news coming, I'm sure, as it is June, and we're off to such a great start already. So there's stuff on the way. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, Hayden came in here late, but anything you want to add?
I mean, yeah, you guys are talking about having no content. My specialty is raging, and what am I supposed to rage on? I mean, there's really nothing to rage on. Home collapse will happen soon, so I'll rage then. But yeah, appreciate. Thank you guys for having me as always. LFGM. Feel free to check me out. Mets Talk with Hayden is the name. Been doing a lot of live streams and stuff lately. My apologies for joining late. Had a couple things to take care of, but I should be back to normal very soon. And LFGM. And I could see Andrew has a very intriguing sign that says nugs, not drugs. And I agree with you on that. Love some chicken McNuggets.
You have had quite the stream, buddy.
Oh God!
I
missed a lot.
You gave me a live mic, and I MJF this bitch. Sorry.
Have I missed?
All right. Well,
we almost got through. I mean, the Andrew Bingo card is all the way full. I mean, oh my gosh.
God.
Bingo.
Old people playing bingo out here.
I mean,
All
listen,
right.
listen. At the home during the day, that's what we love to do. So,
Hey,
I mean, come on.
I made $200 playing bingo. Bingo's lit, dude.
Bingo
Old
is
people-
lit, though.
Nesting old people
Bingo
out
is
of money
lit.
is great.
I'll admit, bingo
It's
is
a
pretty
crime.
good.
Bingo is lit. It gets intense. Other than that, guys, Mets Dodgers tonight at 10. This is the big one. We're gonna do it without our star shortstop, so that stinks. But other than that, this team is amazing. Nothing's wrong with it. Nothing's wrong with this franchise, and that's it. But other than that, guys, follow us on Twitter. We'll be back next Thursday for another Mets Weekly, which will be 56 after 55.
8 times 7, 56.
So we missed
See you
Peter.
guys
Locke.
next week. Oh, my God.